Welcome to subramani.com. I keep wondering why people say I'm a long-term investor. I mean, it is far, far more difficult to be a sensible trader and earn money regularly from the market, right, than being a long-term investor. It's much easier being a long-term investor. It perhaps requires less brain. Perhaps it requires more patience. That's a different thing. But I don't know why people pretend to be a long-term investor and shrivel at the first onslaught of a market fall of even 2% or 3%. If you're not ready for a 10-15% fall from the day you buy, and we all buy regularly, right? We may not do an SIP. Like I bought shares like Coromandel International at various prices. I've sold at various prices. That's part of life, right? Some portions you hold on for a long period, and then some you buy, you sell, you keep doing those things, right? So I don't see why people call themselves a long-term investor, and whether they really have the appetite, risk appetite and confidence in their own stock picking, right? So let us look at first of all, look at whether you really have a very high tolerance for risk. And while talking about risk, I'm talking about variability in return rather than risk as a permanent loss of capital. If you're very confident about the research that you have done, and you have bought a share at 100 rupees, and the fact that it goes down to 90 or 80 or even 70, it should increase your confidence. But the line between being confident and being overconfident is very thin, and the line between being smart and being stupid is also very thin. If you bought a share at 70 rupees and you watched it go down to 9 rupees, obviously something is wrong with you. It is not to say that you should not change your mind halfway through. There is no law which says you bought a share at 70, but that share is very different from the share when it's at 60 and you realize something is wrong with the management, you sell. Like if I bought Bharti Airtel at 220, that was a different company than the company is at 500. The ARPU has increased, right? The average revenue per unit has increased, so you can buy more at 500. Maybe tomorrow at 750 it will not look so expensive. Maybe at 1000 it might still not look very expensive if the ARPU increases. We do not know. We're not predicting about the future. But having bought, holding on for a long period of time is a very important characteristic of a long-term investor, and also to be able to cut losses. Jet Airways at no stage looked attractive for a shareholder. It was a good airline for the flyer, right? So understand what are the things to look for in a company. So what happens if you're a fund manager today, right? So you have a lot of people coming in, going out, and quite surprisingly, not very shockingly, there is a conflict of interest between your agent and you. How is that? Well, agents make more money, or brokers make more money if there is more activity in your portfolio. So very rarely will a guy say, don't do anything. That's very rare, right? So sometimes you have to buy, sometimes you have to sell, you have to be active. But remember, there is a conflict of interest. So if you are a fund manager, there is a conflict of interest. The fund manager has to look good in front of the incoming shareholder, incoming unit holder, the existing unit holder, the trustee, the managing director, right? So there is huge conflict of interest for a fund manager to remain steady and do nothing. Because you will yourself say, "Arey, but to do nothing, why are you charging a fee?" But maybe to do nothing, a fee is worth paying, right? So this brings me to a small story of a guy who goes and is serving food, and the priest says, "That man in the corner, you have to serve him double of what you serve the others." So he says, "Why?" He says, "No, because he sits there and he does nothing." So the priest, so this volunteer is very perturbed, and he says, "For doing nothing, why should he get rewarded?" He said, "That's okay. You finish the serving and I'll tell you." So he says, "Come tomorrow and stay with me for 2 days and just sit there doing nothing." So after an hour or two, he's impatient, he's going up and down. He said, no, I told you to sit there doing nothing. So that's very difficult. So even on your portfolio, it's very difficult for you to sit there doing nothing. And if you have an advisor who thinks that to earn his living, he has to create activity in your portfolio, which is true, because somebody will ask him, what did you do? So he has to give you today's flavor, sell this, buy that, whatever, right? So there will be a conflict. So there is a conflict of interest created by your own advisor. Equity markets by themselves are always in a state of turmoil. They're going up, they're going down, they're rarely steady. And in that unsteady market, to be steady is not very easy. So understand those conflicts of interest which is there. Understand that there are always funds which are buying, which are selling, and see what is the turnover ratio. Now, what is the problem in you becoming a long-term investor is you do not know what it is to be a long-term investor. So go and find out what it is to be a long-term investor. Create your philosophy statement saying why you want to be a long-term investor. Just because you read it in the book is not good enough, right? Maintain an investment diary and which you keep learning and say, okay, I learned this today. This is why I'm a long-term investor. This is why I have bought any particular share and I want to hold it on for next 5, 10, 15 years. So I'm going to look at it every quarter and decide that yes, this share is worth keeping, right? Invest in these things. It's far more important than investing in equity shares and wondering why it has gone up or why it has gone down. So this journey of becoming a better investor I've just started. I'll do more videos. Please click on the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.